Yeah. Yeah. All right. Does anybody want to start?
Well, yeah, I could start in the hot seat if you guys want.
Sure.
That's okay. Remind me how this is going. Do I give feedback first or
Yeah, you talk about yourself, like what you think you did good and what you could work on, and then we each go around and say the same thing about you.
yeah. Um, I felt like this was our like my first week where like I didn't feel completely prepared. Like everything started kind of creeping up on me last minute, especially with like that management marketing test. Um, I know I was a little bit sick for a majority of it, but I think I could have done a better job with adding content to the slides. I felt like the content I added, we ended up pulling a majority out of it, out of the presentation. I felt like I could have helped with other people's roles. But that's basically it for me.
Yeah, I think you did a good job of like, even though you were sick, I feel like you still like you communicated that very well and you still like put in effort. I think another thing you did good is I know we like kind of switched a bunch of stuff right at the end and you kind of had to merge two like content heavy topics. So I think you did a good job of taking that on and like I know it was pretty last minute, so having to learn all of that content really quickly can be really hard and challenging. So I think you did a good job with that.
Yeah, I mean, I would basically say the same thing. I didn't personally notice that you felt unprepared. And then I was also thinking, like Mia said, like taking on that second part of it super late into the project is like definitely a really hard thing to do. So, um, good job doing that.
Like,
Yeah, I agree. I think you did really good. Obviously, you can't control being sick, so I think also just being adaptable, like Mia said, with the new things that we had to change for our presentation. Um, and then I think the only thing would just be like I'll mention it later when I talk about my thing. But yeah,
I mean,
good. Yeah.
I think everyone
well,
kind of
it's
hit
kind of
it.
just something. Oh
Wait, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Riley.
no, you're good. I said I'll mention it later.
Okay. Yeah, I think everyone kind of hit it on the nail there. I think you did a good job of communicating to everyone when you were sick. Like you were honest about it. And yeah, your part did get switched at the end there. You only had a few days to prepare. So I think like as a team, like that's something we can all like work on together. Like I don't think it was like your fault that you weren't like necessarily prepared enough. I just think you kind of got like built a bad hand at the end there and getting it switched around.
Thank you guys. Appreciate the feedback. I think this is definitely something I can and like all of us can prepare for the next project as well. So I'm excited to get into the next presentation. It absolutely killed me some.
Sweet. I can go next if you guys want. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. I was kind of reflecting, and I think like something that made it hard for me during the presentation was that I kind of like went against Mr. Rashawn's advice, and I feel like for at least my part, I kind of found like, or I kind of, I guess, gave a claim before I found evidence, and so that kind of came back to bite me when I was like actually searching for talking points. So in the future, like I think that's definitely something that I can work on myself.
Yeah, I think that that can be hard when your like main like your whole part was the benchmark company. So when you're specifically trying to find something that relates to it already, like when you have a claim for the whole thing, you're kind of working off the claim, so it could have been harder to find like more evidence before making your claim. But yeah, I think that is something that we could all get better at. I think you did a good job this project, also just like being very active in the group chat, and I appreciated that.
I'll go. Uh, yeah, I think you did a really good job with your part. Um, I'm not sure how the others feel, but I think your part might have been the hardest one. Even when we were doing that practice talking for pitch advantage, like I didn't like understand like how like difficult and in-depth your part was compared to everyone else's. And I think you killed it up there when we presented. And yeah, I just think overall you did a great job communicating. Yeah, and like Mia said too, with the group chat and stuff, you're very active and it's definitely helpful as like a group. So yeah, great job.
Thank you.
Can I add one more thing? I also think I noticed when watching other people's presentations, a lot of them split the benchmark into multiple people. So I didn't realize that that was something we could have done, but that maybe would have made your part a little easier. And we can definitely like work on splitting up the presentation a little differently in the future. But
Yeah, I think you did a really good job on the benchmark because it's like definitely content heavy, and you kind of just took initiative to research that and find the information for that. So that was really good. I have no complaints about that. I think you did a really good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, everyone, like Nick said earlier, everyone kind of hit the hammer on its head, but I think you had a lot of content. You did a great job. Um, I think you did a really good job. I know myself and others in the group, we all kind of get the yips throughout the presentation. I feel like you did a good job, even though you're kind of like towards the end, wrapping everything up, and I felt like it started flowing towards the end of the presentation. But that's all I got.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
I'll go next. Um, just for some self-feedback, I'm a very like individual person. So like when we kind of like split this off into like parts for everybody, I tend to focus like just kind of solely on mine, like worry about getting mine done and then like what I'm gonna say. I think going forward, I want to start being more involved and at least understanding like everyone else's parts as well, so I don't get like screwed over on questions or something like that. So like, that's like one thing I'm gonna try to work on for this next presentation and the case comp.
Yeah, I think like that's probably something we could all work on, especially for this last presentation. It was really content heavy for almost all of our parts. So I think like this was definitely a harder presentation to really know the evidence behind everyone's part. So it's not just you in that boat, it's me too, and it's probably the rest of you as well. But overall, like I was gonna say that I think you were one of the better presenters. I thought you were really prepared. And yeah, no negative feedback is good.
Like,
Yeah, you did really good, and I can definitely agree. Like the content of this presentation was definitely amped up, and the questions, I mean, luckily, like, well, not really luckily, but we didn't get any questions. But some of those questions were definitely hard, and I was thinking like I would not have known them. So I can agree with you there, like just making sure that we all know. And I'm also like definitely an independent person, so I kind of focus on my own things. So I get what you're saying there. So I think that's something maybe we could all work on, but I think you did really good.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I think you did a great job with like the stakeholders, like finding the evidence for that. I know you sat down and I think I woke up one morning and the all majority of the document was filled out. That was also me and Mia too, but I think you did a really good job with your research. I like how you just got after it and kind of got ahead of the game, so we're not scrambling last minute.
Thanks.
yeah, I also feel like you took another good like leading role towards the front because when you had the idea to put the V1 at the beginning and then you like really carried that through and I think that it made our presentation stronger and when you also like took the role or had the idea of maybe giving an introduction of all of the stakeholders and then again I think that made our presentation stronger. So you had these good ideas and then you carried them through and you kind of took control. So I appreciated that.
Yeah, thank you guys for the feedback.
Mhm. I could go next. I feel like for me, I don't know if this is how everyone felt, but kind of like Jake said, I felt maybe like I was more nervous for the first presentation. So I felt like I prepared more or I had more time to prepare also. But yeah, I felt like I was less nervous for this presentation, which maybe made me like put I feel like I still put effort in and I still spent time towards it, but I just wasn't as like nervous about it, so it wasn't as like drilled into my head. So like I know during my presentation I had a little like pause and whatever. Um but yeah, and I also feel like my part of the presentation was a lot shorter, or I took up a whole lot less time, which could be seen as a good thing, but I also think like that I could have maybe helped a little more for like throughout the whole presentation.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, it's not necessarily your fault that like you took up less time. I don't think that necessarily says that you could have helped more. It's kind of just like how we divided it. I think like I had obviously a longer part, but that didn't mean that I did more work than you necessarily. So, um, I mean, yeah, same thing. No negative feedback. I thought you did good. And the pause too, like we all kind of paused for a second and took a second to gather our words. But I think like that's just gonna happen. And it's not really something that you can fix necessarily. So yeah, good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have to completely agree with Noah here. You did an absolutely phenomenal job. Also, being a collegiate athlete, I know it's not easy, and I'm shocked of how like involved you are with the group, especially the group text as well. You're really good at communicating. Um, I think you did a really good job for having to wake up and have a meet or a practice in the morning before the presentation. Um, Pausing here and there, I don't think that's that big of a deal. Literally everyone in the class did it for this presentation, so overall no bad feedback.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think you did a really good job, obviously, like you said, with balancing other things that you have. And um, yeah, I think your presentation was good. Obviously, like we all like slipped up a little bit, but I don't think it was anything noticeable. So I think it was really good. Um, yeah.
Like Jake said, you have by far the busiest schedule, and yet you still like I would consider like are like one of the leaders like of our team. Like you're always planning stuff, making sure everything works for everyone, and even getting ahead on the projects. So for that, I think we all thank you. For the pausing stuff, like that's gonna happen like sooner than later, and I think you did a great job working through it up there. You took a second to take a deep breath, collect your thoughts, and went right back into it. I think it showed like professionalism and like I think that's like what our professors like looking for in those types of moments is like how you can improve and kind of get back on track. So I think you did a great job of that.
Thank you guys. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, I really appreciate you guys' understanding with my athletics. I never want it to become like an excuse or a crutch or anything, but I really do appreciate your guys' understanding with it.
Okay, so going off of mine, I think that something I definitely could have worked on was just like being more clear with my communication, especially with like delegating certain tasks for this presentation, just because like I created the outline and everything, and I was kind of frustrated about this, and I don't think I like really communicated it well, but like I was just frustrated how like the design wasn't consistent, especially like for the presentation, because I really didn't want to have to go in and like change things and stuff after I had already done like the design. Like I told the team, I remember specifically telling Noah to that I made, well, I told the team that I had done the outline for the slides, but that the template slash design wasn't done yet. And so I told Noah to do the design for the rest of the slides, or, and I showed him how to do it as well. And then later on, it just wasn't done. And then, like, we had multiple different designs on the slides, and that just caused confusion. And people started adding their content to the slides, even though they weren't like finished, like the design wasn't consistent. And so then I had someone come to me like in a really hostile, passive aggressive kind of tone, and I just didn't appreciate that. I just don't think that's an acceptable way to like kind of talk to someone. So I think that we can work on that communication, just being respectful about it, and even just asking a question and being like, "Hey, like, is this how is this like?" and just kind of being more clear with our communication and more direct instead of passive aggressive. So that was just one thing I had a slight issue with. But yeah, I just think the design thing was kind of something I was frustrated with because it didn't get finished until like the end, and I still had to go through and fix a lot of it. So yeah.
Yeah, that's on me. I like totally just got caught up in my own section of it. So I apologize for that.
It's okay. And I'm not trying to like just paint on one person because I don't think it's just one person. I just think that there was definitely like a miscommunication because I didn't talk to everyone about it. And so I think next time I'll just be more clear in my communication to talking to everyone.
Yeah, I
Uh,
appreciate your like not necessarily like vulnerability, but like ability to like say that you were upset about that because I think that that's really healthy and helpful for our team moving forward. I definitely remember you saying that the design wasn't good, and I really appreciated you making the outline. And I feel like personally, I after you said that, I tried to go through and like add some design, like I tried to add a blue color or something just so that it was all cohesive, but design is not really my thing personally. And I don't know, after I had did that trying to make it good, I had felt like I got some comments about how it was ugly or whatever, which is completely fine. But um yeah, I'm sorry that you felt like it was maybe not as like you weren't being heard or you weren't being like helped in that area. So I'm sorry, and we will definitely try to be more helpful. And I can definitely try to ask for help when trying to format things for in the future.
yeah, Riley, thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. I feel like that's huge for our team if you're honest about this, because the last thing we want is just like us butting heads as teammates because we're halfway through this. I'm glad that came up. Um, Hopefully I did not come out as like passive aggressive to you at any point. If I ever did, I didn't mean to. I think
Wait, no, Jake,
you
this wasn't you. It wasn't you.
on
I was just saying, yeah, no, no, no.
I think as a team as well, I don't want to speak for everyone else, but like I think sometimes we can get caught up in stressful events. But I'm so glad that you brought it up. I think you're a huge asset for our team for like being creative. I think you doing the intro and your idea for the hook, I think since that this is something that you are super interested in, like the Shakespeare and like that whole theme in the hook, I think that was an amazing way to deliver it. And I think truly, I think your part of the presentation was the most authentic. So, I think you did a great job for this presentation.
Yeah. I think I really appreciated how you took initiative on to like you kind of got the ball rolling for our group. Like you said, you created an outline for all the slides and stuff. And like you said, your hook was great. I think it was a good attention grabber. It was also like a really unique idea. I feel like I haven't seen any projects go like nearly that far in depth into something like that to really grab the audience's attention. So I think that like contributed to the success of our project like immensely. For the slide stuff, I missed the meeting when we, or I missed like our group up meeting. So I think my slides weren't very creative, and that's 100% my fault. And I should have done better communicating to all of you guys about like what designs or whatever could be done. So I don't want, and also I think it's great that you're able to like speak up and talk about it because it's only going to make our team stronger. So yeah.
Yeah, pretty much same thing. I mean, like I said, I apologize for not doing the slides, but and then yeah, like just being able to speak up, I think that's super important. So props to you for that. And then also like I'm not sure if I was the one that was passive aggressive. If it was me, I apologize for that. I didn't mean it that way. Um,
No, it's okay. I think just like moving forward and stuff, I think we should just be a lot more direct and stuff. Like if you have an issue, just say it in like a respectful way. Like I think everyone can do this. And it can just be something so simple as like, oh, like this isn't done, can we work on this? And like, oh, just something like so direct as that, I think would be a really good way to go about it. Just because like everyone has other things in life that they're dealing with. And I think we just can't let that get in the way of how we communicate with our teammates. It's just not fair. Like it's just not fair for other people. Um, but yeah, and then also even as simple as like someone just saying like, too, especially with the design thing. I know that if someone doesn't feel comfortable with it, like please tell me that. Like if you were like, oh, I really just don't feel comfortable with it, like I am not very good at that, and I would be like, oh, then of course, like I would love to do that because I, feel more comfortable with it. So I think just voicing like where you're down, like your shortfalls are and like what you're better at and like what, you might need help in is just really good to do.
Yeah. Another thing I was gonna say is that I thought during the first time we did this, I think we kind of like asked you to step up as a leader because we noticed that you would be good at that. And I think like you did that in a really great way this time. You definitely like I think Nick said it or Mia, but you got the ball rolling for the entire team. And so I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right, I
Yeah, I
think
just wanted to add one more thing. Sorry. I know we had our like we did a whole like assignment on what kind of group like person we were, and I feel like a lot of us did have like a lot of us stated in our videos that we like direct like commentary and stuff. So I think that that's not like all of us agree that's not being mean. That's gonna help our like we all said it. Riley stepping up and saying that that's gonna help our team. So yeah, don't be afraid to say what you mean, and I think that we'll all actually appreciate it. No one's gonna take it personally. We're gonna learn and grow from everything. So I think that this whole Zoom meeting has been super helpful.
yeah, I definitely agree. Um, yeah, feedback's only going to make us stronger, especially if it's honest. If you ever have a problem with like me or anyone else, like we urge each other to like speak up about it. It's only going to make us better. Looking forward, we have our next presentation, not this Tuesday, but a week from it. Um, I forget which one it was, if it was Riley or Mia, but one of you guys aren't here on Thursday, the following week,
Yeah,
Thursday.
I
Right.
won't be here on Thursday.
Okay. Um, that means we'll most likely, well, we will be presenting on Tuesday probably then. So we have just over a week. I think it would be a good idea to get together maybe like Wednesday or Thursday for like an hour and just kind of like plan out our project and kind of just get like a really big head start on it. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Riley, have you happened to talk to Mr. Rashawn about it? I mean, I'm sure it's
Yeah,
okay, but
I sent him an email about it and he still hasn't responded, so I'm not really sure. I can send him on Monday or Tuesday if he'll answer on Tuesday, another follow-up email about it. Or should I just email Sean, you think?
Yeah, I'm sure he's like busy grading all of
Yeah,
the
because yeah.
so you could always ask Rashawn or send him a follow-up email
Yeah,
either.
maybe I'll just ask him after class or something in person about it. But I'll ask him, yeah, on Tuesday because I don't really know why he didn't respond. But
All right.
all right.
Cool.
okay.
All right. We'll see everybody on Tuesday or
Yeah.
tomorrow in
Perfect.
class either. Yeah. All right. See you
All
guys.
right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.